What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yes.
Carlos is in the house.
It is your favorite play cousin, your favorite family member you didn't even know you had, Carlos Davis at Mr. Resource Mogul. Yes, it is time for another episode of the Network or Die podcast. And we actually are doing something special for you guys that are not only listening to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform, but also those of you watching on the video verticals of YouTube. As you can see, we're moving around this year. We're starting to move around, but you'll also notice some very beautiful people. And I want the first live audience of the Network or the Network or Die podcast to give themselves a huge round of applause. Give it up for yourselves.
All right.
If you're watching this on the video vertical, it is truly some amazing people, some amazing professionals. We've got some amazing business owners, amazing people in this space. So if you're watching on the video vertical, if you're not watching on the video vertical, definitely check these people out. We've got some amazing people here. And hopefully, if you're in Charlotte or even outside of Charlotte, the next time we're doing this, we would love to have you in the space. But you're here for a reason. If you're listening or watching, you're here for a reason. You want to not only learn about networking, but hear networking from a different perspective. And the perspective we're coming from today is from a very good friend of mine, someone that is very strong in the Charlotte political realm. And I am speaking of none other than former City Councilman James. We call him Smuggie here in Charlotte,
Right.
if you don't know. But
Right.
James Mitchell, Smudgy.
There you go, bro.
How you doing, brother?
Let's keep it real, right? We're gonna have fun, right? We're gonna have fun.
So we're gonna have, as we do on the Network of Dot podcast, we're gonna have we're not gonna have a presentation. We're gonna have a conversation. Everybody say conversation.
Conversation.
So and we're gonna do this. Again, if for those of you that are watching this on the video vertical or even the audio, and you're probably saying to yourself, "Man, I wish I was there."
That's right.
Come on down. And Councilman Mitchell will probably like that. Come in
That's right.
and for tourism and all that. But this is the first question I want to ask you, Smudgy.
Uh-huh.
With you being in politics for the numerous years that you've been in, how important was networking in your success?
So first of all, let me say this. Let's give a shout out to Carlos. So I was raised, you give folks their flowers while they hear and they can smell them. And one thing about this brother that struck me was his humbleness and his care for the community. And that's one thing I like about Charlotte. The true Charlotteans, which you are, you care about the community, how you can make the community better. So now getting to your question, because I had to do that.
Appreciate you.
And so you all going to laugh at me. So I got elected in 1999 in the city of Charlotte, representing District 2. Don't laugh. You're going to ask how old I am. I started when I was 16, okay? We're going to go with that. And
don't tell them your age, Smudge.
And the beauty of it, to Carlos' point, was I realized as a city councilman, I was representing 123,000 people in District 2. And I realized there's no way I could serve 123,000 people effectively. And so the first call I wanted to do is talk to all my neighborhood leaders. I had 71 neighborhood presidents in District 2. And I say, we got to learn from each other. I got to empower you to be able to take care of your community. And so networking is very important, not only yourself, but this city that I'm so proud to be from. I'm a Charlotte native. Any Charlotte natives in the house? All right.
Wow.
You see, there's not a lot of us.
Unicorn.
But, I pride on this small town. So Charlotte, when I was born in the early 60s, probably had about 38,000 people. Now we 879,000 people in Charlotte. 14th largest city in America. And so the prediction is forecast by 2025, we'll be at 1 million people in the city limits. I'm not talking about the county. When you bring in the county, you're at 1.6. Networking does a lot of things. Number one, it makes you grow. Mm-hmm. You meet different people. You learn different things. You get a chance to go to different parts of Charlotte. Number two, it gives you what I call that knowledge that you need to be successful. I tell everybody, I'd rather be 10% of something than 100% of nothing. And some of us get caught up too much in the titles. I want to be CEO, I want to be vice president. You have no work, no clients, but you walking around passing your card because you're interested in the title. I would tell you, networking, building real relationships, and there's a difference. Transaction, you're just trying to get a job done. Amen?
Amen.
A real relationship, you're connecting. You understand what school they went to, their family. Do they like football? They like basketball. Those are real relationships. And so when you get in the bind and you pick up that phone, they won't say, well, Smudge, I ain't heard from you in 9 months. What do you want now? Because when I tried to reach out to you, you wasn't there. So I want you, nothing else, when Carlos talking about relationships, I want you to have real, genuine relationships, not transactional relationships. And I think that'll make you a successful person, and it definitely makes Charlotte a successful city.
So let me give y'all a little background on me and Smudgie's relationship, because he talked about relationships, and we're gonna talk about some things that have actually happened because of the relationship that we've had, with me being a business owner here in Charlotte, and him being on the council at the time. So I remember when Smudgie ran, and he was always looking for volunteers, and I approached him. I said, hey, let me know how I can help, and so I would do phone bangs. I've done everything on a campaign you can think of, but I wasn't doing it to have him to see me. I knew he was a great candidate at the time, and because of that, when he saw the work that I did, working on a campaign, he was like, okay, there's something to this, brother. So we started talking, and he got to know me, which was important, and then he got to know my business.
That's right.
And it was really interesting. Out of all the candidates that were vying for whatever position, he was the only one that really wanted to know more about me and know more about my business. So we fast forward years later. We continue to stay in touch. He would always, let me know of different opportunities in the city. He would support the events that we do. And Black Enterprise came, and he said he called me. He said, Carlos, Black Enterprise wants us to do the Entrepreneurship Summit. Would you be interested in being on the steering committee? And I asked him, I said, my company's not that big. Are you sure you want me on? And he got quiet, and he said, I don't think we could do this without you. That's right. You have been, your business has been consistent in Charlotte, and what you're doing for the community, I really believe that this would be beneficial not just to you, but for the community. And so we if you didn't attend either of the summits, we came for 2 years, and they were very, very successful. That's right. And even through that, and I'll let him talk about the opportunities that had opened up, not just for our company, but Charlotte. But it was very unfortunate that some people looked at that as a negative on my part. Yeah. There were people who were like, well, you've got the city in your back pocket. And I'm like, I don't have the city in my back pocket. I just have a way to get in contact with my elected official and bring my concerns, which I would do. I've had many a conversation with Councilman say, I don't like this, or someone would approach me and I'm like, I don't think this is right. Can we get a town hall or something? And he'd be like, I'm on it. And he will get with his other elected officials to do so. So, Smudgie, to those that think that having a relationship with our elected officials is wrong, especially business owners, what do you say to that?
So, don't ever give up your power to a public official. You put them in office, so you need to hold them accountable. Carlos and I did have a conversation because he said someone questioned our relationship and say, you call him by his nickname, and then he calls you back, and Carlos like the person, isn't that strange? And Carlos said, no. I voted for him. I worked on his campaign. He represents Charlotte. And so your public officials there to make your life better. They shouldn't be there for their own agenda. Those are the ones you need to sit home and tell them, we need to send someone else down to City Council, Mecklenburg County. It is important. We work for you, the citizens of this community. And so if you have concerns, if there's issues, you need clarifications, if there's a viewpoint, is there future planning you need to know about, you should be able to pick up your phone, call them, at a minimum, email them. Hold us accountable. And Carlos could tell you, I took pride in people calling me. I used to laugh. I probably received about 7, 8 phone calls a day, about 120 emails a day, because I was District 2 for 8 years, and then I ran at large. So then I'm a representative of everyone in Charlotte. But I should take pride on solving people's problems. And so, I would have the lady who got in the tree and would call me, and Councilman, can you get up here in 10 minutes? I got to blame Mitzi in the house, it's raining. And I said, where's Mitzi? Mitzi's up in the tree. I said, okay, we'll get someone over there to you. My number one complaint was my garbage didn't get picked up. But to me, it was an issue that was important to that individual. And so I had to treat it that way and say, can you give me 5 minutes? Can you give me a day? I will try to get it resolved for you. In this day and time, the way Charlotte is growing so fast, the way things are moving, it's important that each and every one of you know who your representatives are. Because I can tell you from all the grant money that's coming about in our community, you need to pick up your phone from your elected official and say, what website can I go to, and can I give you can I get a recommendation letter or a reference letter? So let me talk about college just a little bit. And this comes from a standpoint of love. I love seeing young entrepreneurs grow. I love seeing people take hold of something and make it better. And my impression of Carlos was always a humble guy who talked about his organization. And I got tired one time. I said, man, stop talking to me about stand and deliver. I want to know about you. And then first thing he said, it's not a lot to know about me. And I was like, really? And I said, well, where you from? Because we kind of went through the get to know what I call the real level, the connection level. Mm-hmm. I would go to all his organization meeting, and I would see what I see in your eyes. People who trying to improve themselves and would love to be a fixture in Charlotte. So I would get enthused and excited. I would tell Carlos, I said, man, every time you have an event, please invite me. You all are Charlotte. You're Charlotte. You took time out to be here for a reason. I just met this cleaning couple right here. So I told him I'd help them and get some opportunity. My man Chuck, go get his neckties. I like his neckties. But Chuck and I built a relationship over about 3 years ago. So we brought the Black Enterprise Conference here. Chuck got ahead of the line to get a great opportunity to sell his wear in front of 1,200 people who attend the conference. That's real relationship, real networking that came from this body. So I say to you, I know it's raining outside, I know we're going to get bad weather, but continue to have passion and continue to believe that these type of events means a lot to you. Second year, we got the first year, and the whole thing, I just drove Carlos crazy. I said, Carlos, we got to get our numbers up. When Black Enterprise called us, they say only 300 people had registered. I said, 300 people? And registered to come to Charlotte? And I said, Carlos, get on the phone, call your network. First thing Carlos said, I'm on it. He called folks in Greensboro, Durham, Atlanta. End of the day, we had 1,800 entrepreneurs in the city of Charlotte. Real work, roll up your sleeve. Yeah, give Charlotte a hand, because it was a lot of pressure, because Butch Graves, the CEO of Black Enterprise, nicely said, he didn't call me Smudge. He shortened it. Smut! You in trouble. When we went to Orlando, we had 2,000 people. We were in Atlanta, we had 1,800 people. I'm looking at registration, 300 people. I can't come back to Charlotte again. And we had lobbied hard to show them the new Charlotte. Not the old Charlotte that people think just a country town and we don't have that entrepreneur spirit. There was a new Charlotte. 110 people come to Charlotte each and every day before COVID. The new Charlotte that people took pride in, want to be successful. So the second year, Butch said we need an MC for the event. I told Butch, I said, why are you going to fly someone in town from LA and Chicago? We got a young man here in our community that we have built, we have developed, can fire up the crowd. He can connect with people. And Earl Graves called Derek Dingo. Derek is really the planning coordinator for Black Enterprise. And Derek called me. He said, well, who do you have in mind? I said, Carlos Davis. He said, wow, Carlos. He said, I think he could do it. So I didn't want to tell Carlos. I want him to get the official word from Black Enterprise. So Carlos called me. He said, man, I know you was behind this. That's what you talking about, brother? Nah, your fingerprints all on. I don't know what you're talking about. He said, I just be given the opportunity to be the MC of Black Enterprise in Charlotte, North Carolina. Give that brother a hand.
So I say, and Smudge, you know, I appreciate that. And I tell you all this because a lot of people misconstrue that and said, oh, well, you got that all because you had the city in your back pocket. And it wasn't because of it wasn't because of the fact that I worked hard and I put in, you know, the sweat equity. You know, and I will tell you all, sometimes when you have those relationships, depending on the relationship you had, you're gonna have, as we call, the haters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with networking, you will have the haters.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of where you're watching from on the vertical or listening to whatever vertical vertical you're on, it's gonna happen. And I just tell any of you all, like Smudgie said, continue to network, and it's the right relationships that will open up the doors for you. So with that said, family, if you have a question for Councilman Mitchell, myself, does anyone have any questions or comments? Go ahead, Pete.
So my question to you specifically is, with the influx of transplants like myself, I'm from DC.
Welcome to the Queen City, Pete.
I love it.
That's
I'm here
right.
years.
That's right.
What I'm trying to do as well is bring the culture, because Charlotte is in such a interesting identity crisis where they don't know, or we don't know where they are in the world.
That's right.
And there's so many opportunities where people ask me whenever I'm up in DC, do they have an airport in Charlotte?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right.
So my question to you
Yes,
is,
sir.
how can transplants like myself help bring culture to the city? You know, not just regular salt and pepper. You know?
So let me repeat your question so that people, just in case people on the vertical can hear you. So how can transplants make a difference in building up the city? And
Pete, what you're doing today, get involved. We got to have that diversity voice at the table. You got to have the diversity voice at events. I would tell everybody, and I don't like our slogan, so I'm going to get in trouble, but the slogan is, Charlotte, we have a lot. I was like, yeah. There you go. And I say we need to have a slogan that really identifies Charlotte. But Pete, I think you're right. We're in this crisis because for so long, me and the sister, two Charlotteans, we was just a small country town. Then we became this big banking capital of the world. Then we became now, we got the Panthers. And then we got the Hornets. Now we got soccer. And I think we have a big city growing pains. So until we embrace and say, darn right, we're the 14th largest city in America, and we're going to be known for energy. Say something. I just think we have a lot that's too broad and really don't define Charlotte. When I tell you that 110 new people's coming in a day, about 80% of them were millennials. So not only we change it, we getting younger.
Yeah.
We get energy. We get innovation. And some of us need to say, have a seat at the table. Let's embrace that. You have some in Charlotte would say, oh my gosh, wait a minute. I mean, they trying to change things. One of the biggest fights we had, you all gonna laugh. How many of y'all visited Epic Center? I was a district rep at the time, and you had residents, 3rd Ward and 4th Ward, who used to Charlotte being quiet after 5 o'clock. When companies left, it was quiet. I got an amen over there. Then they said, Councilman, we need some energy. Charlotte is changing. I said, okay, we're going to take an old convention center, we're going to turn it to Epic Center. Within 7 months, then my resident said, boy, you done made a mistake. We're going to vote you out of office. Too much noise, too many people. And so as a growing city, you got to embrace change. And I've been a strong advocate, and maybe because I'm just hyper and I got 2 young daughters who keep me young, I believe change is a part of being a leader. You got to change with times. You have to set the vision. You have to be proactive. So Pete, tell all your folks to relocate to Charlotte, we need to hear your voice. Don't be silent. We need to hear your voice.
Yeah. What other questions y'all got? Networking, business-wise? Yeah, Desmond.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Desmond Wiggin. I'm the co-founder of Battery Exchange, a technology company.
Hey,
Oh,
bye.
okay.
So Smudgie, pleasure to finally be connected. A fraternity brother of ours, Richard Berryman.
Yeah.
I mentioned your name a while back, and so.
Richard from Durham.
Yeah, from Durham.
That's right. That's right.
So, being a business owner, always looking for networking opportunities. Honestly, my team member Josh has really exposed between the political world and business.
Thank you, Josh.
So what are some spaces that, I could involve myself in order to get better?
Thank you, Desmond, Josh. Well, one thing, the city of Charlotte has over 47 boards and commissions you can volunteer to serve on, Desmond. I would say start there. They're usually on the City of Charlotte website. The City Council then will vote on it. It's an application you have to fill out, and then City Council will vote on it. So I want everyone get out your phone, take notes. Number one, I want you to go home tonight. This is your homework.
Ooh, he giving y'all homework, y'all.
If you don't do it, I'm going to tell them to raise your property taxes.
He done raised mine 20 times. No, I'm just playing. I'm just
So I'm
kidding.
going to hit you in the pocketbook. Your number one assignment, you need to know who your City Council representative is.
And I'm going to even take this a step further before you give your next step. For those that are watching outside of Charlotte, even if you live in Chicago, New York,
You need
Austin,
right.
follow these same steps
right.
from a networking perspective with your city. Go ahead, Smuggie.
So number one, find out who your City Council representative is. Number two, send them an email introducing yourself. Way before you want to get on the board, you just saying, I'm in your district, I'm in your city. How can I get involved and make Charlotte better? And three, please sign up for a board and for a commission. We get the same probably 30 people every time. And that's not Charlotte. We need Desmond, we need Josh, we need Pete to say, I want to be on Keep Charlotte Beautiful. That's the first thing I did. I joined Keep Charlotte Beautiful. And then you can move up to other boards. Now, I would tell you the best board to be on, I'm going to tell you right now.
Here it comes.
It's the Charlotte Convention Center. You know why? You get tickets to everything in Charlotte. You get free tickets.
Free tickets.
Now, remember, rephrase that.
Yeah,
You get free
free
tickets. But it's going to take you a while to get up to that board. But start off, Keep Charlotte Beautiful. We got Community Relations Board. Desmond, number one for you, Small Business Advisory Council.
Yep.
Your input about how we can grow our small business community, what we're missing, I think will be vital.
Good stuff. All right, what other questions y'all have?
My Charlotte team, come on, give me one.
Uh-oh.
I do have.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lucy. My business is Kaiser Financial Solutions, LLC. I help people change their mindsets around money, credit, so you can have a better financial future. So, with that being said, my passion is housing. So
Okay.
I also have a nonprofit that gears towards affordable housing. Being a Charlottean, I've never seen rents this high.
Yes.
So, Councilman, my question is, I've applied for the housing board like the past 3 years.
Oh.
Yeah, but I get nothing. Should I just take the advice you just gave?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Where do you live? I'm going to go and tell you your council member. Where do you live? What
I'm
part?
a university.
So your council member is Renee Johnson.
Okay.
Let Miss Renee Johnson know you're interested. She's passionate about affordable housing as well.
Okay.
And so we definitely need, we have about 27 citizens serve on our Affordable Housing Committee. And so please contact Councilmember Renee Johnson.
Okay, and is that on the city website?
It's on the city website.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. What high school?
Oh, I didn't go to high school here.
Okay.
I moved out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Josh had one. Did Josh leave? Josh.
Yeah, this has someone behind me.
Okay.
How do I've been having a really tough time. So Carlos knows this. I've been working in politics the last 7 years for state senator in Maryland. I've just been having a hard time connecting with political leaders in like the Charlotte area.
Really?
And everything of that nature. And I definitely want to become more involved in the community here and everything. Like I actually met a state senator at a community event. He kind of brought me on this team. 7 years later, I'm still working for him. I'm trying to find like the right opportunities
Okay.
here to get involved in the political.
You have Josh's contact information?
Yes, sir.
So Josh, I'm going to get your information with Carlos, and you'll get an email from me Friday. Do you care if it's city, county, state? What's your preference? School board? What's your preference?
I work for a state senator,
Okay.
but I'm pretty flexible.
You're pretty
I
flexible.
just want to make a positive. And Charlotte's treated me very, very well. And I mean, Desmond's given me an opportunity. I don't have that much experience.
Okay.
So in terms of like business development and everything, but I'm just looking to make my mark in the community and like keep people here because I come from the DC area,
Same as Pete?
Same as Pete.
Yeah.
Man, but I'm just trying to figure out ways to help people and everything of that nature in the community.
So I get it from your information from Carlos, and you get an email from me tomorrow.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Josh, right? Gotcha. While y'all think another question, let me see all my startups. She has one. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning or afternoon. I'm Anisha Jackson. I'm a school counselor and a children's book.
Bless your heart.
author. And when you mentioned something about school boards, I wasn't even thinking about, I could possibly be on that. I work for CMS. And right now I've transitioned to own my own publishing company.
Okay.
So outside of being part of the CMS school system, I'm very interested in closing that the achievement gap.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is the reason why I went into school counseling.
Okay.
And outside of the school system, what are some other avenues that I could partner with? I've been in education for over 16 years.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm just very adamant about closing that academic achievement gap. How, what, where?
So first of all, thank you for serving.
Yes, most definitely.
Being a school teacher in the school system is a challenge right now. There's an organization called Foundations for the Carolinas. And Foundation is one nonprofit that is so committed to closing the achievement gap, closing the wealth gap. After this meeting, let's make sure we talk. I can give you a contact, Laura Smith, to call and let Laura know that I recommend you calling so she can get involved. One thing about Foundation Carolina, they exposed something that was very painful for me, being a Charlotte native. The study came out of all urban communities in the United States. We finished 50 out of 50. That if you were born in poverty, you're going to stay in poverty based on the statistics they did.
Wow.
And being a Charlotte native, that was very embarrassing to me because I really take pride in my city. And so I thank the Foundation of Carolina for doing the study. And now they've kind of taken the lead to trying to address some of the issues. And then I got to give our mayor credit. The mayor and city council, I think about 2 months ago, started this funding, calling it the Equity Task Force. It's about $250 million. $80 million alone is going to Johnson C. Smith University, the only HBCU we have in the city of Charlotte. And then there's some additional funding they're doing for small businesses. And so one thing I would say about this great city, that when there's a problem, we really try to address it. Other communities try to sweep it underneath the rug and pretend it doesn't exist. So thank you, and I'll make sure Foundation Carolina, you get engaged with them.
Thank you so much.
I also want to recommend since you are in CMS, reaching out to communities and schools. You know, if you haven't had a chance to reach out to communities and schools, they're another good organization that can help with that as well. Yeah. All right. Any other? We'll take one more question for Councilman Mitchell or comment. Now, I've been waiting to ask this question of Smudgie.
You must be throwing me a curveball.
No, look, I am not. You know we don't do curveballs.
Okay.
So you're not on council right now.
No, sir. No, sir.
But so what's next for you, sir?
And Carlos knows this. My lovely wife, I married up, and I had to run everything through her. Women, y'all get it, right? Because y'all really run the household. We men, we think we do. And so we talked about it. I did step down on city council January of last year because I became CEO of RJ Deeper Construction Company. And then the state has this rule: if you own more than 10% of a company, your company you represent cannot pursue city contracts. And at the time, Leaper had a big contract at the airport and a big contract at the convention center, so I stepped down. Tough decision because I really love working for the community. Fast forward, I started my own drywall company, hotel. So you're going to build hotels, apartments, anything. Let me know. I got some drywall board that I can sell.
Shout out to HMS Management, Bob and Patel.
and so, Carlos, I did talk to my queen. This was about right after Labor Day about, what can I do now? And I did talk to her, would she allow me to run for city council again? And women, you all know this. She took a sigh of relief. I thought I was in trouble. Then she kind of went through, what I need to do in order to get her blessing. So needless to say, my queen's a total 100% behind me. So can y'all keep it secret? Y'all really can keep it secret?
We'll see.
Carlos, can they keep it secret?
I think they can.
Okay.
I think they can.
So whenever the North Carolina Supreme Court allow us to file, I will be putting my name back in the hat for running for Charlotte City Council.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You know, Bobbin's got something to say.
Bob and Patel, newly minted realtor and hotel developer. But now with that announcement, what's the first thing you want to change if you get reelected?
Ooh, good one. So for those of you who didn't hear the vertical, what is the first thing you want to do when you're reelected?
So here's the first one. I got two. Here's the first one. We got to have a funding for startup businesses. I'm experiencing it the hard way. So you think about it. Banks are not friendly to startups. You consider a high risk. Amen.
Amen.
Angel fund don't come. They're not knocking on your door. And so the county has a program. Let me give the county credit.
Yeah, they
the
do have a
Mecklenburg
program.
County has a program for startup businesses only. And I think the cap is $50,000. But a lot of us know $50,000 for us can at least cover payroll and rent and other things. So that's my first. I want to be small business, the best small business advocate for you on city council. One is about startup funding. One is about relationship. Charlotte really does work with each other based on relationship. And I got to foster those. Because you have people on one side of town say, I've never been on Batesford Road. You got people on Batesford Road say, I've never been to Ballantyne. And then I say, don't you live in Charlotte? So why are we not connected? Number two for me is affordable housing. And the Charlottean, she can really relate. I think we got two cities now.
Yeah.
We got the cities that citizens are relocated, and they see Charlotte as a steal. They left D.C., they left New York, they left Chicago, and they come in and buy, a $400,000 house and go, man, I would have paid $1 million for that in my previous city. But then you have the locals who've been here 60, 70 years, and they have seen their life has not increased. It has diminished. Property tax has gone up, amenities around their community. And so for me, affordable housing, number one, small business advocate. Number two, affordable housing. And my last one is we got to do a better job of keeping our community safe. Because I'm a big tourism fan. I hate we lost the CIAA. I hate we lost the Battle of the Bands. And one thing I'm passionate about is, mark this down, September 3rd, 2022, there's a big football game in Charlotte. North Carolina A&T versus North Carolina Central. I am determined to bring more tourism back to our community, because if you sell beverages, restaurant, when there's a game at Bank of America Stadium, we all benefit from economic impact. Thank you for the question, but that will be my platform. And I'm coming back, you know how people say there's unfinished business? I'm coming back to say I got unfinished service I want to do for my community.
I love it. I love it. So family, let's give soon to be reelected Councilman James Mitchell, Smuggie Mitchell, a huge round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
So for those of you that have been watching on the vertical or listening, you could have been doing anything, and I truly appreciate and do not take your time for granted. I pray that you got something out of this conversation. Again, if you have any questions for myself or even Councilman Mitchell, please send them to me via Twitter or Instagram at Mr. Resource Mogul. That's MR Resource MOGUL. And whether it's a question or even a resource, it doesn't matter, especially if you're in Charlotte, please reach out to us. Please let me know. We'd love to connect you in any way, shape, or form. But even if you're outside and you really find value in what we do, if we can make a connection for you even where you are or outside of that, between myself, Councilman Mitchell, and the resources that we have, we would definitely love to do that. For my family here that have experienced this live session for the first time, what did y'all think? How'd y'all like it? How'd y'all like it? So we're going to do more of this. Just to let you all know, some of you all will be interviewed. I'm just going to tell y'all right now, I'm going to be interviewing some of y'all. Mr. Bob and Patel is actually going to be on an episode very, very soon. Give him a round of applause. So Bob, for those of you who do not know Bob, and I'm going to let y'all, those of you who are watching this, I'm going to give you all a little sneak peek. You know, Bob is very, very humble, but just the things that him and his organization is trying to bring to the city are really, really amazing. And just the things that I've been able to work with him on just thus far, it has just really blown my mind. I'm not going to tell you what they are, because it's going to be in the podcast. I want you to listen to the podcast. So
Right.
you gotta hear the stuff that Bobbin and I are working on, the things we're planning, and it's not just things for what Stand and Deliver is doing, but it's some opportunities that are coming for you guys. Because one of the things that I told Bobbin when him and I started working together is I want to help create an opportunity for me. I want to help create opportunities for other people. I want to create opportunities for more people in the city. And he looked at me and he said, my family and I want to do that too. That's why we do what we do. So keep an eye out on that episode of the podcast. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming. Be on the lookout for a lot of great things from this man to my left. I want to encourage you. You can ask him. He'll be around for a while. If you want to ask him questions, feel free to do so. When everything is going, if you want to volunteer, I know he'll accept it. And any help that you can lend him, I know he will accept as well. But we're going to shut down the podcast right now. But again, if there's anything we can do for you, regardless of where you're watching, please let us know. Again, at Mr. Resource Mogul, Twitter and Instagram. Send a direct message, however we can help. Until the next time we see you or hear you hear from us on the podcast. We'll see you at the top.